Alright, so I don't have a lot of time and I keep getting distracted. Every time I start a video, phone rings or something happens, but I'll try and get this done before my webinar here in the next 15 minutes or so. So this video is in response to a question I posed yesterday on Twitter, which was basically if you're a coach of something and you don't actually have any experience actually practicing or doing what you're coaching, do you have credibility or do you lose credibility? And so I posed that question after I was on the Real Estate Tomato talk show listening to Coach Tom Ferry, who this video is for basically. And one of the callers called in for the question and answer at the end and basically started I started badgering, in my opinion at least, and I could tell that there was I don't know, the guy had negative intentions, I guess is the best way to say it. So his question was to Tom, how long have you been practicing real estate agent? And Tom did his best to answer without just saying I'm not. But and then I thought maybe Jim Cronin hung up on him, but he says he didn't. I guess the caller just got cold feet and left or whatever. But anyway, so I posed the question on Twitter to my followers, saying, what if the coach that's coaching, real estate training or whatever has never actually done real estate, do they lose credibility? And I had quite a few people that called in that wrote back and said, yes, they do. They do lose credibility if you find that out later. And I don't know that I necessarily agree with that completely. A lot of you know my stance on the social media, damn phones, these social media gurus and the experts that are out there, and something like that where social media has only really been around for like a year. So how can you really be an expert or a guru in something that's been around such a short time and you've only been practicing it a short time? Now in Tom's case, where he's been in the industry like 15 years or 18 years or something like that, and he's been around the block. He knows what he's doing. He's out there in the trenches with these people. It's kind of like if I'm standing on the sidelines watching a football game for 18 years, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be I'm gonna know the game, I guess is what it comes down to. And so, kind of, he's not out there saying he's a real estate guru and he's done this and that. He's just coaching these people on best practices and maybe some different ways of implementing ideas that they might not have thought of, or outside the box thinking kind of stuff. Even though I hate that term, but and I think real estate needs more of that. I think the industry has been kind of screwed up for the last few years, at least, maybe longer. And if we can get some more people from outside the industry to step in and say, what, this is what you guys are missing, or maybe you could do better if you did this or that. And we do these conferences for Inman, and we bring in outsiders, industry outsiders. Like, people thought we were crazy when we brought Gary Vaynerchuk in to speak, and most of the people that came to see him were had never heard of him, and they're like, "Who the hell is this guy? And why the hell do we need to learn from a wine library TV guy?" And honestly, he's probably one of our best speakers we've ever had, and got the crowd pumped up. And at the end of the show, people were like, "Wow, now I get it." So we need more people like that in the industry, and I think Tom Ferry is one of the good ones out there. And so, um, anyway, that's my take on the whole credibility thing. I don't necessarily think they lose credibility. I think as long as they're not out bragging that they're a top producing agent, and then they find out that they're not, or that they don't have a license, that's a different story. But for somebody who's just been kind of in the game for so long, to be out helping people, coaching people, getting them on the right track for their business for the next 10 years, decade, or design the decade, or decade by design, or whatever his thing is, then that I don't have a problem with that, and I don't see any reason why anybody else should. But the caller yesterday was funny, and it definitely piqued my attention at the end there. So it piqued my interest, I should say, and thought it was pretty funny more than anything. So that's why I posed the question on Twitter. And then Tom sent me a direct message saying, "So you know my thoughts. What are yours?" And I'm like, "Oh crap! Hopefully he didn't think I was the guy that called in, but apparently he didn't." So we cleared that up. Anyway, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and get my webinar going here. So